right now, personally, for me, I'm looking for an agent in Chicago area. And a new one just popped up that someone tagged me in, and they're doing open casting calls for the enrollment part. But it is a brand new agency. I went to their website. They don't have any talent listed so far, but their Instagram, they do have some headshots of people. And I'm just kind of like, because I can see on their website, it says 2020, so, but I do have a meeting with them. So it's kind of like, do I want to go with a new agency that's brand new or go with one that's known?
I think you could have a lot of awesome opportunities with somebody that's brand new because it means that they are trying to prove themselves and they're really looking, they probably will only have like a few people up front to make sure, well, you'll get to feel when you meet them, make sure that they do seem like they're hardworking and diligent and all of that. But what I would say is if they do ask you to sign a contract, make sure, like, because most agencies will be like, you sign with them for a year, but they're new. So you probably have some wiggle room in there where you can say to them, like, hey, can we only do, a 3 month or a 6 month, or the ability to give you a, uh, 30-day notice or something. I'm hesitant, and you can let them know I'm just hesitant to sign with a brand new agency. I hope you understand. Be very sweet and kind about it. But I think that that would be a good, like, protecting yourself way in addition to respecting what they're trying to build.
Yeah, thanks. That's what I was kind of like a little trial period.
Yeah, definitely. And God, I get bummed when an agent doesn't do that, because that to me, I'm like, I mean, we're all nervous about getting locked in. As an agent, I'd be nervous to getting locked in with a junkie actor. Sorry, non-responsible actor, if you will. That's always frustrating. And so I personally love trial periods, and hope that they do that, because that gives you both an incentive to work for each other and be respectful. Um, wait, when Scott's acting, an actor can only sign with one agent at a time. An agent has an exclusive for an actor. So there are exclusive agents, and then there's other places where you can work with as many agents as possible. You can probably, in the bigger cities, it's likely that you'll have like a commercial agent and then a TV film agent, or maybe even a theater and live events agent. Um, but they're all pulling jobs from different areas. So they're not going to be overly concerned. You just let them know, like, oh, but I'm signing with you exclusively for commercials, or exclusively for this or for that. Relationships start to get tight because people are like, oh, well, who are you going to give this money to if you book it? Well, you submitted me first, blah, blah, blah. And so that's something that we've seen a little bit of bickering down here in Georgia and Florida over, because we're kind of like a right to work kind of a state. And so technically I don't think the agents are allowed to have an exclusive. None of the contracts I've seen, none of the students I've worked with, nobody has that. And so that's what is up. And so what they're needing to work on instead is you just have to set those really clear boundaries with your agent if you do have multiple in an area where there's a high likelihood. Because I have one student where he is getting submitted by multiple agents to the same role. This keeps happening. And so what he's been telling them is, he's like, I go with whoever gives me the information first. And it's actually worked out quite well for him, because now everybody's like, on responding to him on things, because he's been booking fairly regularly. So I guess it can work out for you. It's just about these are partnerships that you're building. So you want to be able to have trust and openness. So if any of you guys are feeling like icky and annoyed with each other, then that's going to lead to long-term resentments. You really want to make sure that right off the bat, that first agency meeting, you feel very comfortable and open, and like this is going the way that you want. You don't want to feel like, oh, well, I guess I have to go with them. They're the best in the area, so I don't like them, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Like, if you don't like them now, you're probably still not going to like them later, even if they are getting you work. It's just, there's going to be a point of contention someplace where it's not going to be pretty. So do try and find somebody that you feel comfortable working with, and where you both have the same goals for yourself. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Back on to the balance of being an actor and working in production. Does anybody else have any questions for Jana about that? because that's just super important, because that's how
Yeah.
you build all your base. You know, you're on set for the reason. If you are an actor, you are on set for one reason, and that's to meet people and to collaborate so that you can get acting roles and build your reel and meet more people. I've worked with actors on set that would deliver checks to agents, and casting directors are like, hey, you got a checks to deliver? I want to do those runs. I want to do those runs. And then they would go there and stop in the office and say, here's your check, which probably makes you very happy. And by the way, I'm an actor too. And they're like, oh, really? Come in, sit down. You're going to do a lot of work, right, Jana? You're going to do a lot of work as an actor that's struggling to get on the map, or you're going to do a lot of work inside the film industry, already working in production, but doing much more impactful work once you're inside.
Yeah. And honestly, like the whole reason that we should all be willing to do a little, the extra mile right now is we are setting ourselves up for opportunities and a lifestyle that most people can't even dream about. Honestly, like you guys, we're putting in the time and effort right now because I feel like all of you guys have that inside of you of, I don't want to work the 9 to 5. I want something more. And that's why you're here. And that's why you're doing all of this. And so that's really what I would recommend is like, when you have those days that you're having a difficult time pushing through, is just knowing, okay, this can have a payoff. And that's why you're in classes. That's why you do spend time and finances to be in classes and everything, so that you're not just wasting time and energy, but you're productively moving it in a focused route towards what you ultimately are wanting. So somebody was asking, like, when you're getting started, do you just tell like producers and everything, oh, I can only work daily shoots. Don't sign me for long-term ones because I'm an actor. Probably I wouldn't word it like that. What I would do if I were you, and most of the time, most shoots aren't going to be more than 2 or 3 days. Most are one day, especially if you're in commercial world or if you're on TV shows where they're just they need somebody to help fill in for a bigger scene or whatever. So that's the good thing about a lot of PA work is it's only 1, 2, or 3 days at a time. If you are going to sign on for like a full project that is like multiple weeks, if you have an agent, you need to directly go in and book out with them and let them know, like, I can only do self tapes during this time. And I won't be able to take any projects. You want to be working with the producer that you have a good relationship with, so that if something does come up, and this happens to me, it would be like I worked on a project for like 3 weeks in a row, but I had a good relationship with the producer. So I found out that I got booked on something. And so I was able to tell him, and I was able to find a cover, and he trusted me that I had a good cover for that day. So it's all flexible. I don't think it needs to be something right up front where you're limiting yourself to say, I only do 1 day things. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I would say take the jobs as they come in, build your base. And if you don't want to take work, you're getting some acting opportunities that are coming in, and you just don't want to take the work, just let them know that you're not available.
Yeah.
Should you tell them, I'm not available because I got some acting things? Because then they might go, oh, well, I guess you're going to be focusing on your acting career now only, and they may stop hiring you. What do you think?
It's definitely just how you word it on that one, because it's, what is your relationship with that person? Does it feel comfortable, or does it feel like somebody that's already like, we're like not in love with you so far? Then if that's the case, just let them know, my apologies. Okay, so it's a tough thing, because when they book you, they expect to own you. They booked you, that's it. So it is, I do, for the most part, I try and point out the acting portion, because otherwise it looks like you jump ship for another PA position that just happens to pay better. So, if I'm in, what ended up happening a few times was I was in just a PA position, and I got either hired for an acting gig or like an ADing gig or something, things that would look really good on my resume. And I just was real with the producer. I said, look, it's just this 1 day. But 1, yes, it's a higher rate, but 2, this would just look a lot better on my resume. I already have a cover in place. They're fantastic. would you mind if I went and did this? So if they absolutely say no, and then you have to stand up for yourself, like, you'll figure it out. You'll be, good with that relationship, but you at least want to bring it to them as a collaborative decision, versus just, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I got to cover for you, but I got a higher paying job.
Always voice it. Is there any way I've got this opportunity? Is there any way that I might be able to cover myself on this day? I got somebody really good, that I'm also an actor and I have this opportunity. So is there any way? Happy face, smiley face. You're going to use that for your entire career because, even if it's nothing to do with acting, you're going to get other jobs that are going to be opportunities that somebody's been trying to hire you forever, and this is actually one that's a feature film, and you're like, I'm going that direction. Hey, is there any way? And then they make the decision. Always let them make the decision, or let you be free.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit more about that balancing aspect, which I know I was talking about, like making sure that the marketing and making sure that you're letting everybody know. There is going to come a place where so let's go back to, when do you know is the right time for you to either step back from one or the other? Because one, at the end of the day, only you can make that decision. But I would like to speak from personal experience and from other things that, I've watched other people go through as to how, we made decisions as to where we ended up focusing more of our time. So I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of time where they focus all their time and energy because, oh, well, I'm getting paid here. And that's a very easy way to honestly get stuck. That's why we see a lot of our friends in, not that there's anything wrong to 9 to 5 with 9 to 5s. Like, I'm not saying it like that, but I've seen other actors, people that I went to college with, that they specifically spent a lot of time, energy, and money to be a trained actor, but they got scared. And so they ran after the money, and they're stuck doing 9 to 5s or temp work or something because they're not putting in that, okay, all right, I'm hearing some people saying that that's what they're dealing with. So let's talk about that right now. There has to be a leap of faith. There has to be a point where, I don't know if you guys have like some kind of actual faith, religion, whatever that is for you, or whatever you need, but there is going to have to be a jumping off point, because you're not going to have all your safety nets in place. You're just not. There's no way that you can figure out exactly what is going to happen, but you can plan for the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. Yes. So we see a lot of people spend a lot of time and they start focusing all their energy where they're getting their finances from. And if that's in production, that can be really great. But what I started to notice was, even though I was doing very well for myself financially in terms of, working as production wrangler, doing some producing, doing some production coordinating, and I was working all the time though, I just started to realize I wasn't happy. I didn't love that lifestyle. I didn't love working 12-hour days, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, as somebody who sat back and watched the performers and set it up for the performers, but wasn't actually the performer. Like, check in with yourself. You will start feeling it in your gut of like, oh my God, I wish I was doing that. Or I'm not happy with this current lifestyle. And so I really had to check in. And that's when I started to take a step back from everything that, I had friends that thought I was absolutely bananas because I was turning down jobs where, in a week I would turn down a couple $1,000s worth of jobs, because never thought I'd do that. But I was turning down a couple $1,000s worth of jobs each week because they weren't making me happy. And so I started spending time building back up my acting career, which then actually ended up leading into my own business. So funny how we're there now. But you have to balance it out. So then I would do a little bit too much of that, of like, okay, let me go make sure rent is covered. And so then I'd pick up one of those jobs again. But you start to balance it out. Instead of feeling like I need to have all the safety in the world by knowing every single paycheck is covered 3 weeks in advance, being okay with taking some time off, working on your acting career, and then going, oh, I have a feeling that rent might be a little bit tight. Let me grab one more of these. So that you start to kind of do an equilibrium there.
Just for the people that are starting out in the first like 6, 8 months, you're just trying to build your base. You're just with this program, you're just building your base. You're getting on set. You're learning the lay of the frickin' land. Now, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself right now to be like, oh my God, I also need to get myself out there all the time as an actor. And I need to like think about when am I going to transition. Just build your base, meet people, get experiences, relax, and, for what you do inside. This is what I am. I am an actor. I also work in production. I might be interested in these other crafts. And yes, I'm transitioning from my job. Don't put all this pressure on yourself that you have to like be, do it all right now. This is several years. Jana's first year was really just meeting people and freaking working and making money. And then she's like, hey, I got so much work coming in. I've got to start to think about my direction now. And boy, she right about talking about a trap. There's traps that can occur in acting, in camera, in any place where you're getting hired for work consistently and it's pretty good money, but it's not what you want to do. Camera, yeah, you can just do corporate video your entire career. You can do sports your entire career, but you really want to do features. So everything's great. You're doing the right thing by building that base. You need that. And if you try to do it too soon, to move up into acting or a certain area too soon before the base, you're just like everybody else out there that's just trying to get the acting gig without having any relationships.
Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love having like somebody to talk back and forth with, because I'm thank you so much for pointing these moments out. That's so important. Yeah. Definitely what I'm talking about is something that you grow into. Like you will find that point. You're not going to be perfect right off the bat in terms of I am balancing this much acting and this much of behind the camera and it's a perfect synergy. Like, no, definitely work on those relationships first and trust that the rest will follow. In some of your free time, you can be doing making sure your headshots are up to date, maybe going and playing with some camera stuff on your own, taking a couple of just, photo shoots with some friends on your camera. Like nothing big. Like these can be just like a couple hours a week that you're throwing out there. Occasionally checking the casting sites though. Just because that first little bit when you're starting to really work behind the camera and behind the scenes and stuff, if that's the route that you're going for relationship building, then there is going to be a little bit more focus on that up front. Don't put pressure on yourself. Yes.
Enjoy your life. I always say this. It's so simple, but enjoy your life, because people like to hire people that have it together, that feel happy inside, that they feel like their life is working and they're excited. I know that we are working really hard right now. We're in this program. We're also building and we're doing things we've never done before. And, it can be like, holy crap. I can really feel for you. And plus on top of that, you're starting something. I remember how it was when I started. It's like meeting all these people and trying to make a good impression. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's, you're kind of off your game. You might feel like you're off your game a little bit just doing that, but everybody feels like this, guys. Every single person, when they first got on set, they all felt like, oh, I'm getting my legs. I'm getting comfortable. And I feel off. Did I say that right? Should I have said that? Did I just interrupt that person? Did I respond right to that? I should have done this better. Yeah, you're learning. So that's why I'm saying, enjoy your life. Just be excited, be learning, and do everything that you're supposed to be doing as an actor too. You just have to do it fast. You just don't have as much time as you had before,
Yeah.
Check the casting sites, submit yourself, do the stuff on the weekends, talk to people on set. Make stuff for your reel. Always be looking for filmmakers on set. Shoot the stuff, put it on Instagram. I'm an actor, I'm a PA. I'm an actor, I'm a PA. I'm an actor, a PA. Both. You can do that your first 8 months. You can do it all. I'm not saying don't do it. You can do it all, but just enjoy it the whole time.
Yes. So this question, this is a very succinct way of putting it. Is there a danger while having a great relationship foundation if they only see you as a great PA and only want to hire you as a PA, rather than other stuff? So there's no danger in that. That could just mean that one relationship, even though you have kept them in your social media world, you have sent them invites, they just use a PA. That's them. There are going to be plenty of other people out there that can, get you where you need to go, that are going to be happy to see that actor side of you and help you there as well. So I wouldn't sweat it too much. And they're also, just in general, there's going to be plenty of like, oh my God, this person is so amazing. They have such a big name in this industry that, you're going to end up meeting. And then there is a possibility that the relationship might not be as strong as you want. And you're going to be like, oh no, I'm never going to work again in this industry because they only see me as a PA, or they didn't like me. But you guys, there's no one person that can make and break your career other than you. So honestly, like every time something doesn't go well, just be like, well, glad it's a big-ish industry. Let me just go to the next one. You still want to be nice to everybody because it is smallish enough where, we hear if people are being cray-cray, but I mean, you guys won't do that. That's why you're in this program. You're all sane and hardworking and lovely people. So yes.
Yeah. Remember, guys, everybody starts as a production assistant. The producer, the director, people that are hiring you as a production assistant, that's how they started. And that's how they know you, that you're great and that you got their back. It's coming from like affection that they're hiring you. They like you. So that's why they're hiring you. So, and they know that everybody's getting somewhere just like them. You're using that position to get somewhere. So maybe when you've worked with them, they've been under so much stress that they haven't had the time to really find out more about you and what you want to do. But believe me, they all know that everybody's going somewhere. And just wait for enough shoots to happen where you have a little conversation that turns into something that's an opportunity. It will happen. You can have a little conversation that turns into an opportunity on day 1, or maybe it's day 5, or maybe it's day 10. So can you talk specifically about the fear, Jana, about people seeing you since we're on this subject, people seeing you as a production assistant, how do you respond to that? If you hear from other people like that have never worked in production from the outset saying, hey, aren't you afraid that somebody's going to see you as a production assistant, not as an actor? I have a response to that, which is it's all about your energy. And also, what is most compelling about a person is that they know what they want to do. They have their own direction. They're using this business. It's working for them. Ooh, that's very freaking compelling. And then everybody stands back and goes, okay, let me get out of your way. You obviously know what you're doing. Well, I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't be working in production. That's my opinion. But what do you have to say about this?
So it's funny, this goes back to the day when I used to do theater, which I still do sometimes, but like that was all I did. Was I would try and get hired. I wanted to be, okay, let's go back to high school. Hey guys. Okay. So in high school, I, as a freshman, was like, I'm going to be involved with every production. And so if I didn't get cast, which most of the time you don't get cast as a freshman at my school, it's incredible. I would just go to the tech director and be like, hey, can I help? And they were so flabbergasted by that. They were like, I mean, sure, but you're an actor. And I was like, yeah, but that doesn't matter. I can help with other stuff too. Then by the time I was a senior, that became kind of a norm, FYI. But when I got to college, a similar thing happened again. I started doing stage managing, and I heard a bunch of people being like, I would never be a stage manager because then people are only going to look at me as a stage manager. FYI, in that situation back in high school, when they started to notice that I was doing all this other stuff, they couldn't believe that I was doing all this other stuff. So I actually, as a freshman, got cast in the big winter musical that only 2 freshmen got cast in. So And I know I did not have the dance experience for it, but they just appreciated my work ethic. So I was like,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
And that happened again in college with the stage managing. Was I started to get more help from some of the other professors, that's the word. Keeps wanting to say producers. I kept getting help with some of the other professors because I would go to the production meetings. I was the only student at the production meetings. They were talking about how to build this whole production, and I'm sitting there taking notes and doing my thing. And so then I started to get to know the professors better, and then they started helping me. I got to do some outside of college work in the local community and different things that they had hooked up those opportunities for me. And then it was a very easy, like that just naturally started happening in film as well. And so what I would say, the difference between the two and where I want you guys to make sure that you're utilizing this is I started running myself too ragged in terms of working production. I told you I did 4 months straight. I did not look too cute, you guys. I looked exhausted. There were days when I was just wearing my baseball cap because clearly I didn't want to, sorry, I didn't shower the day before. Like it was, I wasn't doing good self-care. And I don't want you guys to fall into that trap because then that advertises across the board of like, well, I mean, you're doing a good job here, but I can't quite see you as an actor right now because you're not looking camera ready. And I'm not saying you have to go to set with like all of your hair and makeup and all that. Please don't, because then that says something else too. But you want to be looking presentable and clean. And moreover, oh God, if I can find it, I might attach this photo below in the comments on the Facebook streaming. I had this picture of me in this like really dorky pink like sweatshirt and all that, when I'm just like this. And dorky isn't really my brand when I'm an actor. That's not really the vibe I go for. I kind of go for more chill, cool, and laid back. And so what was happening was, again, it was a marketing thing. I was causing them to need to do a leap. Like I'd send them my headshot, and the headshot, one, it was overdone. So they were like, wow, this doesn't even look at you. That's a major red flag. But it was like my hair and makeup was all done, and that's not how I showed up on set. So you do still want to come and make sure that you are presenting yourself as who you are as an actor. And so if you do play the bad guy and everything, I'm not saying come to set and be the bad guy, but you want to be able to have a certain amount of that look and vibe to you. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this because
it's so good though.
Some of you, okay. Well, I mean, but some of you, if you play the happy commercial type, that's going to be really easy for you to go to set and be like, well, I'm just happy in commercial. And then here's my headshot. It's happy in commercial. So it's very easy for, the DP that I'm talking to, the sound person, whoever I'm talking to put two and two together. But, I'm kind of a cool laid back chick, but I was wearing just like gym clothes and stuff, like nicer gym clothes, but I was just wearing like gym clothes and things. And so that wasn't advertising my cool laid back. Now I started going to set later, and my leather jacket became my normal thing that I wore everywhere. It was like my utility jacket after a while, and different stuff like that. That's when I started to realize I'm doing a little bit of, you guys, just a little bit of being conscientious of marketing on a daily basis is going to be helpful. You don't want to show up as one thing and then try and be advertising yourself as another, which is again why we're saying it's a delicate balance between showing up as a PA and advertising yourself as an actor. So just as you need to show up with that certain relative vibe and energy of what kind of roles you play, which should be the ones that are that's exactly why I tell you guys to go after playing roles that closely match who you naturally are, and then dress the part, but still in a PA way that you can move around and get stuff done. So if you play the hot glamour chick, please do not wear heels and stuff on set, but you might need to spend a little bit more time not doing crazy makeup, but looking a little bit more put together as glamour chick. If that's how you normally go, you want to make it an easy connection for them of seeing what your possibilities are. And so that's why we were saying, when you say that you do PA work, but then you're also wanting to advertise all these actor stuff, It needs to be like an additional, maybe not that first meeting or stuff. You need to find where it's the right moment in the relationship for you guys to ask, hey, I like you. What else do you do? But that's why then it needs to be really easy for them to go into your social media, your, if you're sending them emails about other projects that you're in, different things for that to be continued to be marketed and advertised to them. I used to be, I did this program and I was like, well, I should be getting even more acting opportunity. I got a few, but I was like, I should be getting even more. But I wasn't taking care of myself and what my day-to-day marketing was. And after a while, I was so run down because I was taking every job that got thrown at me that I looked run down. And unless I were to get hired as a rundown character, like I wasn't advertising what my headshot said, which was cool and sparkly. I was like, I don't feel cool and sparkly right now, but I'm still going to come and do the job with the best of my abilities. But it's hard to hide. Like your body will tell everybody when you're tired, like your body language, your, just everything, how you dress, it all kind of comes across. Somebody's asking, is it best to have a separate social media account from your personal account? It's fine. I have mine together, though I do have a separate one for my business, because people are interested in who you are. Your personal life shouldn't be vastly, crazily different from everything else going on in your life. Oh yeah, immune system. Oh yeah, that was a problem too when you're weak. So your personal life shouldn't be crazy different than who you're showing up as a professional. So people do want to see that. That's actually my business coach recently was coaching me this in, and I need to they want to see some personal advertisings of what's going on in my life, some like soft sale advertisings of what's going on. So that would be for you guys, that would be showing you on set, like showing that you're a film set person, and then one that is like I am hardcore going to sell exactly what I do right now, and that is I'm an actor. So you have a mix of those different things on there, and that shows people I'm in the film industry and that's how I do. And then I specifically see, oh, you kick butt at being the super smart chick. That kind of thing. So that's why I would say having those mix, people really do like to see what else is going on in your life and not just a blanket advertisement account.